We're live?
We're live.
Here, we're back at the Eastern Title and Settlement Studio, aka the Welcome Back to, well, not Welcome Back to, what is the name of our podcast?
The Knowing Your
Roots podcast. Jesus, that's how long it's been since we filmed. We're back here with a good friend, teammate, Marvin.
I think we've been talking, 7 episodes in, right? So we've been talking about his car for about 6 episodes now, on and off, whether we like it, whether we don't. But I could probably say that after today.
You can say that, but I mean...
Unless he does something super crazy over this winter.
That's what,
I think it's safe to say that the only thing we'll say is Marvin won again. Like, we won't have to talk about the green car anymore.
Okay, well, I will.
I mean, I don't, you know.
I really have a lot of respect for the car. You know, we've talked about it before, even though Marvin was super rude to me.
I was not rude.
What you
I was
said.
not rude.
We'll get into that. But, you know, we do have Marvin here. Thanks for showing up. I know we've been trying to get you to do an interview with us all year. And now we finally have you here.
He has his stipulations. He had to be in Maryland.
He had to be.
I had to be in this nice seat.
Let's give you a nice little introduction, right? So it's Week Fest East, car of the festival, including that was 10 best of shows this year. D Sport cover magazine, which we got that was only available debuted at PRI.
PRI, yeah.
Right.
It's only available at PRI.
It was only available. Now it's available.
Okay, now it's available.
Right. I mean, mine was available at SEMA, but PRI, SEMA, same thing.
It was supposed to be a seat.
Supposed to, and what? Anyways, we're not here for that. What else did we have? Some highlights. We have what else you got? Possible Pass Mag coming up. You had the I know I wrote an article with Trey for a we'll call it a faux super street.
It was a good article.
It was.
Yeah, faux super street layout, which hopefully people will get to see. But we started the year. I mean, did I leave anything out? Anything that you want to shout out? I mean, that's 10 best 10, right? 10 best of shows. It should have been 13, but 3 shows got canceled. Is that what happened? Or 12, something like that. I know Richmond got.
Are you gonna karate chop him? You just had your hand like
Richmond
got
and
canceled,
Next
and
Gen.
Next Gen got canceled.
So should have been a dozen, right? So that's
the
what
potential.
Potential. Sorry, you're right. So I'm sure you were trying to go for that dozen, right? So, but there's always next year. But let's start off with the beginning of the year, right? Like you dropped the photo of you at the gas station that broke the internet.
Well, wait. Let's go before that. Let's go to when he's building the car and he was going through the whole season last season. Before he broke the internet with that gasoline.
Okay. We'll go there.
What was your thought process when you first started going to shows with not having your car? Like I've been there. I know what it feels like, but put into words, kind of like what made you? Did it make you more creative?
It didn't make me more creative. I was just more miserable. You know what I mean? Like I missed it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when the season started, when I didn't have my car, it was okay because I was like, all right, this is cool. I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to load. I don't have to do anything. Like I just show up.
Right.
Just support the team and that's it. And then as we progressed down that season towards the end, then I started getting the itch.
So did you get the itch because you're like, fuck, dude, like that guy won and I just know what I know what I have, right? Like, was it
That was part
something
of it.
like that?
Gary, what is that? 5 minutes in, and he already dropped his first F-bomb. What's the time? Do we have a timestamp?
Why are we not supposed to?
Dude, relax. We know what we're doing with YouTube. We know what we're doing. So you knew what you had going. You knew what you had in your pocket, and then you were waiting to drop it. How far along were you able to show the car until you actually showed it? And I'm not talking about car show. I'm talking about that picture that Harry was talking about. That post.
So that post, that car was done.
Right.
It was complete, ready to go, pretty much. You know, it was done. It was already wet sanded, polished. Everything was ready to go. I was ready for Autotopia, which was what, a few weeks out.
Yeah, I want to say like we didn't hold on to that photo. Like they took the photo, and as soon as it was ready,
Right,
to
but
post,
my question wasn't the photo. My question was before the photo. How long was the car done before that? Like, was he holding it?
Oh no! So the car was done maybe a week
Okay.
before that.
photographer was waiting for Marvin.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
photographer was waiting for Marvin.
I got you. It's hard to have something really cool and like hold on to it.
I mean, just jumping back to what I was saying right? Like when he dropped that photo and it literally broke the internet, right? Like, and it was just like, wow, right? And I think that photo kind of set the tone for his season, right? Like I already knew that, we were going to do all these other shows because I did OG1 the year prior,
Right.
So I was like, we're probably going to double back that because now we have Marvin's car to go with, right?
Right.
Obviously, Marvin's not a H-Day guy, so we knew that he wasn't going to be at H-Day. Autotopia was in his backyard, which, truth be told, you were kind of hesitant of you didn't want to debut the car there,
I didn't.
right? But we did. It's basically in your hometown, or that's your house, as you say, right? Yeah. So we did go there, and then we followed it on with, some more shows, and just as every show went, it just started getting more and more and more momentum. We'll fast forward all the way to the end, right? Like North Carolina. I know, like once that weekend we were supposed to do Richmond Import Expo, and then leave that night and go to North Carolina. Import Expo canceled on Saturday. Canceled Saturday, and at that point, Marvin was like, "I'm out." Like the whole point for me to go was to do the double show.
Right.
Right. And looking back, I'm kind of glad that it did get canceled because that would have been one hell of a trip. It was already a hell of a trip, but it would have been double, right? But, I think I did a good job of convincing Marvin that, hey, like we are kind of the closest things to like Cali cars. So with that photo initially dropping and everything else that happened towards the year, I felt like the South had to see his car. So I just kept bugging Marvin. Like,
I get that. But I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say I don't like our team or our cars being compared to Cali because we are not Cali. We're East Coast, and we should be proud of what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with the California guys, but like, our cars.
We can hold our own.
We can hold our own.
We're gonna hold our own. But I felt like, big picture, the South needed to see his car in person, right? Because like it's, one thing to see the car on the gram, and it's a next thing to see. It's a different feeling and appreciation when you see the car live in person. And as you know, Marvin, like your car, depending on what day, what lighting it is, it turns out blue when it's really more on the greenish side, and it's just like this car has to be a car that you actually visibly see.
What's funny is how you say that. Like I'm looking at the cover of this magazine. It looks the color of the car.
It's not. It looks blue.
The car is definitely green.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The door looks green, but then the rest of the car looks blue.
Yeah, but that's that's a whole different car. Like
So it's funny because when I saw the cover in person, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like Laguna Seca blue.
I was about to be like,
yes.
that looks like Laguna.
Yeah.
Blue.
yeah, and that's the cool thing about kind of what Harry's talking about, because you could probably fall in love with this car in this magazine, right? And then go see the car in person, and now you're in love with a whole different car. You're not even looking at the same car. You know what I mean? Like the styling and all that stuff. When you see your car put together with the valve cover and the color and all the different bits that you did a good job. I think you should really concentrate on enjoying it while you're at the top.
I can't. It's just not how I am.
I was talking shit.
I know. And I can't.
So let me ask you this, man. So I don't know if people know, they should know though, but this car was basically silver beforehand. You did change some aero pieces. You changed the wheels, of course. You did brake change as well. But there was really nothing wrong with the silver car. what made you like want to tear it all apart and bring this final? I don't even want to say this current version. I mean, is it the final version, or is it safe to say current version?
I would say it's safe to say current version.
Okay, so
At some point, it'll probably get changed.
okay, but yeah, I mean, I just want to know the thought process between taking a car there was nothing wrong with the silver version of that car. It was beautiful, and then now you came out and brought out the Mona Lisa. Right?
I mean, I guess there wasn't anything wrong with it. I mean, when I bought the car, at some point, I knew I was going to paint the car because I'm not a silver person. So I made do with what I had for the time being when I was ready to paint it. And at that point, when I said paint, then I'm ripping the whole car apart and redoing it.
And this was the second time you tore it all down? Like pulled the motor out? So not a lot of people know this, but you do everything in your garage except for like the actual paint.
Yeah, I couldn't do the paint or the fab work. So, fortunately enough, I had Schmuck that helped me with the fab stuff.
Shout out to Jason, good dude.
And Vibrant helped me out with all the materials that I needed, so shout out to them. And then my painter, Mike.
And that was just like your first like sponsor that you got on your own, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
You got Sony.
he didn't get on it, but he got it. Like he literally wrote the
Went out and did
letter,
it. I got
and
you. Yeah,
you know what I mean. He had asked me like, "Hey, how do I do this?" And I was like, I wasn't gonna hand it to him. Like, do it. You know what I mean? Do it, and I'll help you. You know what I mean? I'll help you with it, but
You need at some
I just
point
feel
you
like
need to
every
go out and do
just
your
like
own.
me, right? Like I had to learn it that way. Like you write a letter. Like I always say the best thing I learned out of college was how to write, like write appropriately.
But the big push for me was paint, right? So like one of my good buddies, he didn't have his own place at the time. So we waited until he was up and running in his own business, and then that's when I knew it was ready. It was time. Let's paint the car. And big thank you to Mike at Reliance Auto Body for taking care of all the paint and bodywork stuff that needed to be done on the car.
He did a really good job. Like
He did.
And you know what? It's one thing like you take care of his work, right? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people they'll spend the money to get something done and then they don't take care of it.
You watch it get destroyed.
Yeah, you watch it like you as an audio builder, I'm sure you see that a lot.
all
right?
the time.
But if Mike was there, if Mike was there at pre-staging, watching you take care of that paint, you know what I mean? Like he would be proud, right?
He knows how I am.
Because I'm always like, bro, man, like how many times do you go over the car? Like it's done. You're like, no. Like I'm almost done, right? So
one of the cool things about that is like, that's one of those things like, fuck, man, Marvin's making his car look so good, so you gotta spend the extra time. Everyone around him has to
match,
right?
Right, you have to match the effort, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So just next time we see us lined up, just put us on separate.
I'll clean my car somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
separate sides. But let's dig a little bit deeper, right? Like, so obviously everything that you built, this version of the car, probably had to come from the past, right? So let's dig back to the beginning, right? Which kind of was the roots of what this podcast was supposed to be about, right? Like the 90s
Beginning.
builds, right? So I didn't realize this, but I found out that hey, you actually had a ricer build, right?
I did.
We all went through it. So take me back to
I've never had a ricer build.
take me back to the beginning of when you could remember your modification beginnings.
Well, that started in high school. So when I first got my license, I started with Euro, actually.
Wow.
I wasn't a JDM guy or a Honda guy. And the only reason I got out of Euros is in that time period, to get something for a European car was not obtainable.
What car was your first car?
I had a 91 E30 BMW,
It's a great car.
318 IS.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
It's a shitty engine, but it's a great car.
That was only a 4-cylinder one though, so it wasn't the 6. But
This 318, 1.8 liter.
yeah, but the thing though is there was no support for that car. in that time period.
I think
Everything was overseas.
yeah, everything was overseas.
So like I would, for me coming out of high school, like
Just
it's
not
not
attainable.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to get just a bumper, right?
Right.
To
And
ship it over here.
We were making like $8 an hour.
Yeah. I think I was working at a gas station.
Right.
So I had that for a little bit. I made do with what I could. That's here. That car was kind of riced out. There was lights everywhere, LEDs. What was the
Well,
the light kit that was big back then?
Was the hood LEDs and tire flies?
I had both. I didn't have the tire flies. Sorry, I had the washer nozzles.
really?
Yeah, the washer LEDs, and then it was.
It's so funny because just hearing you say something like that is such a
I did. I was
Corny
obsessed,
thing.
but I was obsessed with lights.
Everyone
Yeah.
was. The headlight
I
strobe.
think I'm the only guy that never like cared about
I had headlight strobes and taillight strobes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the same strobe.
drill a hole in the
Yeah. I don't even think I drilled a hole.
Street glow undercarriage. Did you have that too?
I did not have the undercarriage. I had all the other ones that, like the smaller ones
Right.
that you can put on the inside.
The lightning.
I had the base activated ones that flash with the
flash.
base.
God.
Wow.
Yeah. So from there, that was in high school. So when I got out of high school, I was fortunate enough that my parents, as a graduation present, got me a Integra. So
What year?
I had a 96.
It was GSR or
It was an LS. Yeah. So again, made do with what I had.
Yeah, I mean you're a young kid, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
just
a nice
wanted.
gift.
You know what it is? I just wanted a car that I could get everything for.
Right.
So that's where.
You already had a plan to modify that.
Correct.
Right.
So that's where the Honda scene came from, right? Like, it's just because for me, everything was obtainable.
So let
for
me
that
ask
car.
you this, because I know for Harry and for me, our parents were not like about that life, right? Were your parents cool with you like taking a car? Well, you just mentioned that your dad was in a 300ZX guy.
My dad had a lot of cars,
Right.
but he wasn't into modifying them. He just enjoyed
Owning.
changing cars and
got
having
you.
different cars. So like, I grew up with that. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right, but did your parents support you in the modifying?
The modifying.
yes and no. I mean, they didn't really bother me much about it. Every parent would tell you that you're stupid for spending your money on something
Right.
on your car, right?
Right.
But they didn't really bother me about it, just because I was working, so it was my own money,
Your own money, right.
so it wasn't really affecting them.
Right. The car disease is a fucking terrible thing. And you got it from your dad, but you just it manifested. In
I think I got it from, well, my grandfather was a mechanic, so he was always working on cars. But he was a Euro guy, and this is where me and him always clashed, because he would call my Honda junk, because he was a VW, Audi, Mercedes guy.
Right.
So we never
My
saw eye to eye on that.
My how things changed. I mean, I feel like a lot of that stuff you mentioned is garbage, but nowadays,
Yeah.
back then, probably different.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that. Well, no, I'll get to this point later. Actually, let me write it down. Keep going. I'm sorry. So,
So from there, the Integra, from there, it was just a red LS. I bought it stock. We started with skunk tube coilovers, the sleeves, because that's really all you could get at that time.
We had the ground control. I mean,
I think skunk tube was a little bit more popular and affordable.
it's definitely more
over the
affordable.
ground controls.
Well, the ground control is a real deal thing, right? Where it was.
I mean, it was still a
performance.
sleeve.
It was still sleeve, but it was designed like with the iBox spring and it's
Yeah,
like,
I think I had Tokikos.
yeah,
Yeah, Tokiko whites. And the white shocks.
the white shocks.
Yep.
Those adjustables. The
with
blue
the
were not
with
adjustable.
the ground controls, and that thing was
oh man, that was the first setup.
that thing was on.
Everybody had that.
If you wanted coilovers, that or the Skunk Works, right? So
That thing was on the ground. It was slammed.
Right.
Like every car that I've owned up until a certain point in my life was always just slammed
Dumped.
on the ground.
Right.
And I guess that's, I always talked earlier in our earlier episodes, I always talk about like how the like newer gen, like they really focus on the fitment, right? And that can make or break a car. And on your S2, like, I guess Ada should have known you earlier. That's when he wouldn't have so many wheel problems. But like,
the wheel problems with my car stem from trying to go down a 17-inch road that, Marvin kind of like, we played with a lot of stuff. We played with everything. I mean, I think the biggest mistake that I did was the TEs, honestly. That, they just,
but that
it was the first car ever the TEs never looked right on.
But that car, when it was on the gray car, had TEs and it looked
right. Right, but I think that it was the wing, and like, TEs are a racy look, and I'm not sure my car has that look. But we're not here to talk about the multicolored car. We're here to talk about that green car.
We could talk about the multicolored car. I don't mind.
So speaking of wheel fitment, you, like me, are a wheel guy. Like, you and I talk about wheels for a long time, different styles, and go down. I mean, you're better at figuring out the fitment because I just can't do the math fast, right? But tell me, what was your first real wheel? I actually know what the answer is, but I just, for everyone out there, just to give everybody kind of like a timeline from where you started into where you are now, because where you are now is kind of like me. You like a vintage wheel, but you also have like some strict fitment things that it has to like click.
So when I built the Integra, fitment wasn't really a thing back then, right? It was just more like you put 205 40 17-inch tires, and the wheel would be what, a 17.7 plus 45
plus 40,
or whatever it is.
42,
And if
45,
you're slammed with the natural camber, that shit's in.
Yeah, it looks good.
And it just, that's how it's sat.
Yeah.
So actually my first set of real wheels was actually on my Beamer. I totally forgot, which were Enkis, but I don't remember which Enkis they were.
Doesn't matter because they all suck.
Well, that was my first real set of wheels. I mean, I went through a lot of other wheels like Tenzo Rs and 80R wheels. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Hey man, not everyone can afford Schumachers, so we go with the Shoe 4, man.
Yep.
I fell into that boat too. So
for the Integra, when I redid the car and I had it painted, it was Racing Heart CRs, but there was a one piece because I couldn't afford 3-piece ones. So
right.
One piece.
$8.50 an hour after your raise.
One piece was good enough. I mean, I was able to afford a full paint job and shave the door handles and do Lambo doors, full body kit and stuff.
I mean, so it's funny, right? Because I recently shared my invoice on my Civic, and everyone was like, "What? Like that's
$3,500 paint job?"
Yeah.
No,
with the conversion.
With the conversion, like
I still paid double that. That was
in
in 03.
We were around the same price range for that double,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have a conversion done, right? Well, let's rewind real quick because I didn't know you had this, and this is probably the worst modification for any car ever. It looks so good, but shaved door handles are the worst. Did you have that experience?
you had shaved door handles.
On my Integra, yeah. Shaved moldings, shaved door handle, shaved antenna.
So you had the door poppers,
I had the poppers, yeah.
and you had Lambo doors too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what the?
So the door pop would pop.
Terrible.
Yeah, it would pop and then I would lift.
So let me ask you this: how did you? Let's just say the battery went out, and I should have just asked you this, but
you climbed through the package hatch.
You climbed through the hatch. Is that how you?
Yeah, because I never wired in a safety, like a emergency release button.
So if I had done that on my coupe, then there would have to be an emergency release button somewhere.
Yeah.
So in my Integra, it was worse because I had a roll cage. You remember?
Yeah, I didn't have a roll cage, so I could just. So I would coat hanger in, pop the trunk. Because I didn't have a keyhole, I shaved that too. So I popped the trunk and then climbed in through the inside.
So do you agree it's probably the worst modification anyone can do to a car?
I mean, it looks awesome
fantastic
because it's just all smooth, right? But it was not it wasn't great after.
Yeah. So
afterthought.
That's and I'm not gonna beat this horse dead, but I would call tech support. I had like a Viper with all this crazy shit, buttons and shit, and the guy on the phone, I was like, yeah, dude, I just need, I need to figure out how to wire this with the shaved door. He's like, yeah, shaved door handles. He's like, I was like, yeah. He's like, that's
Viper tech support?
Yeah.
Was that like Nintendo's like game hotline?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Nintendo's game hotline.
Yes, I do remember that. But it was kind of like that, and I just remember that guy going, that's the worst thing you could do to a car. I'm thinking to myself, like, shut the fuck up, you old fart. Here we are, fast forward 20 odd years later, almost 30, and do not shave your fucking door handles on the front of the car.
Well, I think the other thing too with my door handles that I hated is that I had 3 Type R12s in the back of that Integra.
You have to climb over those.
No, not even that. From all the vibration from the base, I started seeing the imprint of where the door handle was. The line started popping back out.
That's because they didn't weld it.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think he glued them.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with my Civic, right? So, I never shaved the door handles. I just shaved the molding around it, or got it filled. And now that you pull on it and the base, and so now you're starting to see it like crack out.
So just for you guys out there, I'll give you guys a science experiment, and this is why this happens, is because the two things that are bonded together, they expand and they contract at different times. So when it's hot outside, the glue stays in place, the metal expands. That's why you see the crack.
Yeah, I think he used like epoxy panel bonder or something.
Yeah, panel
like
bond.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you think if the cars were out in Cali, they wouldn't crack because the temperature's kind of
They'll crack less, but on a flat panel. But panels on a flat panel like that, on a panel that's like a rocker panel or obviously a bumper and shit like that physically flexes, it's gonna crack because of the physical flex. So a lot of times, remember guys would shave the like a EM, like your car or EM1, EK, would shave the filler plate for the tag.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that slamming of the trunk, they're gonna move.
Yeah.
There's no way. And then there are two dissimilar products, plastic to metal.
plastic and metal, right?
So you got to be careful with gluing stuff. And I learned all that from when I was molding dashes together for monitors and the doors and shit. It's just, you start learning the science of stuff when you start doing those.
So on your Integra, I know we talked about bits and pieces of it, but like, off the top of your head, what was your mod list on that? I know you said the Racing Heart CRs. We talked about Lambo doors, shaved door handles, but let's talk like the kit, the interior.
Laguna Seca blue,
Turbo kit?
full paint. No.
No
turbo.
Arasaki Moto intake.
I think that was my first intake. I don't remember what was on it when I got rid of it. It was a big carbon chamber.
The whale.
It wasn't like the Password JDM whale penis.
Whale
one.
penis, yeah.
It was like the carbon like round canister. It looked like an exhaust.
Oh, the top fuel.
Yeah, but it wasn't a top fuel.
Oh, but it wasn't top
I
fuel.
think it was like a top fuel knockoff.
His weapon.
No, it wasn't Weapon R.
No, it's a K. It starts with a K. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And it had like a right-hand turn in it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what he's talking about. I don't know the name.
I had that, Nology wires,
Oh wow.
extreme front bumper, Bomex sides, Bomex rear.
Okay, so we starting to get.
back into the
We're
first
starting.
episode.
We're starting to get
Yeah.
back into the first episode,
Yeah.
but that's where you can start seeing like the JDM process like starting to evolve in his head, right?
I don't think it's a JDM process. I think the JDM process probably started after, because he's in 2003, 312s. This is a show car. Like, this
Right.
is a straight up show car.
But he's got Bomex sides and rear. He could have went with the extreme front bumper is like
Show car.
yes, right? But there's also extreme sides and rear that he could have went with.
Yeah, they're extreme. They're not as
They fit
subtle.
but
as,
they
Yeah.
fit that kit.
the only reason I say that is like,
No, I
feel
didn't
like
have
the
turbo.
Racing Heart, especially the CR, isn't like a JDM wheel, like the.
It was made.
RGs.
It was made to
Bling bling.
It was made to satisfy American needs.
Right.
Right.
Which actually, they didn't even have the color that I wanted, so I bought them in silver, and the painter painted them Type R black. So it was Nighthawk.
Right.
Oh no, it was SI. Sorry, it was Flamenco Black Pearl.
Okay.
Yeah, because
The
I wanted the
centers.
blue plate. The centers
The
were
centers,
black.
okay.
Yeah, because I wanted black wheels with a little small polished lip.
So even going back that far, you have this very distinctive taste and a very pointed way of what you wanted to do. I think that any of the stories that I hear about what you do with your old cars, I feel are important as like you're maturing the car. This is a very mature build, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, the Integra was built, I would say it was built nicely back then, right? But like if I go back to it now and I'm looking at it, I'd be like, what is this?
Right.
What did I do here?
Right.
Well,
You
you
know,
learn.
Well, yes, the maturing process as far as how I went down the line and continued to build my cars. And when we get to the EG, that's kind of where I started changing.
Turning to the more clean,
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah.
but so this, while it's very clean and simple, is very complicated build. When you talk about, you know, some of the stuff you did under the hood. One thing we talked about the power wire stuff, you know, where you have the two little pieces that,
The Radlock
yeah,
connectors, yeah.
a lot of that stuff is like just looking around and looking at pieces and saying, oh, this will work, and it not being something that someone's done, even though it's a very simple thing to do, right? Like,
I mean, the thought process with that is, I think it was more of like, I've pulled that motor so many times, right? And then like, I'm like, oh, well, if I ever pull this again, how can I make it simple for myself? Quick release stuff.
right.
So engine harness, mil spec, the Radlock connectors, fuel lines, they're all on, you can't see them, they're hidden, but they're on quick connects.
Right.
The vibrant, they turn, then they hold.
Right. Well, I mean,
Those
obviously,
things are awesome.
Obviously, I believe in that with all my Wiggins
Oh,
stuff.
those things are awesome because I had to disconnect my supercharger lines to change something, and I disconnected them, and they didn't leak.
Right.
Because that fluid's not cheap.
Let me ask you this. Well, from what I remember, the parts weren't cheap either, right? So let me ask you this. Had you not got sponsored by Vibrant, would that setup still be the same, or would it just be AN?
It would probably still be the same. I probably would have went a different route though, as far as which lines I used.
But you're glad you went that way. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no. I'm happy I went that way, but there might be changes. We'll see.
So we get rid of the Integra, and now we move on to the next car. What's the next car we have?
After my Integra, I got an EG with a Type R swap. So the show thing kind of like pushed away for me for a little bit, and I went into wanting to go fast.
Right. And that's a good swap. I had a Del Sol with a Type R engine in it. It was probably one of the fucking most fun things.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Because like,
Yeah, it was.
that was
Green.
what?
Yeah.
I think that was 04, 05. I had my EG with a Type R swap. And at that point, the car was a 13.5 car on street radials. And
Fast.
that's fast back then.
It's fast, yeah. It's fast for an all-motor street car. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it
fast.
literally had just had bolt-ons.
Right.
And a chipped P28 ECU. That's it. And then I blew it up at the track. I went 2.32.
Dude, we're like the same people. I did the same thing.
2.32, a big cloud of smoke came out.
And a hole in the block.
Dude, they were like little meteor rocks.
Yeah. I did this.
Destroyed it.
I did the same thing, except for I was doing a pull on the highway. I was racing like a Eclipse or something, and it happened to me. So probably one of the most fun cars I ever had, honestly. You know, big regrets that I blew up a $5,000 engine at the time.
At the time, now they're like 10. B series Type R's are like 10 grand now.
Hang on to those B series. So you went fast, and were you still going to shows with that car, or you just didn't?
I beat the crap out of it and just drove it.
Right.
Then I sold that, and I went back to Euro. I got an E36 M3
Okay.
because I wanted to see what that was like. I'll tell you what, I hated it. I hated that car.
Really?
Yeah. One, it was slower than my hatch.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of things that will be that fast.
It was a highway car. It was fast on the highway. But I don't know. I just did not enjoy that car whatsoever. I got rid of it really quick. What did I get out of it?
The Civic with the Type R is that Is that the car that those guys bought from Tony?
No, that was like 4 hatches after.
Right. So going to your we're not going to go to everything because you
the
mentioned we're just going to do the
ones
most
that-
relevant
the
cars.
most
Yeah,
relevant
yeah.
We're going to be here all day. Count down 40 fucking cars. All right. So next show car or next build is what?
My EG.
Your EG. Okay. This is the 4 hatches down.
4 hatches
Okay.
down. I had a EK sedan that was turboed, single cam turbo. I
Okay.
traded it for a bone stock red EG hatch, and he gave me money on top. But because I wanted to get back into a hatch, so that's where that whole build started. I drove it for a little while. That was my daily, because I had an 07 SI, which was in the garage, so it should have been flipped, but.
In
theory,
retrospect.
yeah, it should have been flipped. But I actually drove the EG for a little while, and I dailied that. That was slammed on the ground also.
What wheels? What was the wheel that spent the most time on the car? How about that?
No, I don't think I had real wheels on that.
You have fake wheels?
Yeah,
Oh, we're not gonna talk about that.
I think, well, it was just daily drivers, so I didn't care, you know.
Never fake wheels. Ever.
I think it was just like some cheap wheels that I bought and I put them on, and I was like, this will work for now.
Man, so not a lot of people know this, man, but Marvin got this issue that he doesn't want to admit, but he just likes to spend money. So every time I'll be talking to Marvin and I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it's a marketplace. Like even last night, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, what city are we in? He's on marketplace trying to find something to buy, bro.
Well,
Like,
that's because like deals be coming, bro. Like you can't not, right?
so what did he do? He bought these t-shirts from fucking China instead, bro, that he's been looking at. We're like, dude.
Money burning a hole in his pocket.
Some graphic
Like,
tees.
2:00 in the morning, like, bro, what are you doing, man?
We'll try them out. Let's try them out.
If they're good quality, I'm right behind you, man, because I've been looking at like the prints are dope. I was just
I'll be the guinea pig.
material, yeah.
I'll be the guinea pig. I don't mind. So the EG then it flipped. I was driving my SI as a daily, and I started taking apart the EG. So the EG build was like, it wasn't fast like the S2000 was. Like I think I had that car down for like 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then it was
Did you swap it?
GSR swapped, yeah.
Okay.
Which I took. Motor was out. I think at that point I got tired of it. I didn't finish it. I sold it.
Oh.
Oh no, I had a B16. I sold the B16. The shell
Went
was,
to go put the GSR in.
well, I didn't put the GSR in. I didn't buy another motor. I sold the shell. It was all painted, which I painted it myself at my work because I worked at Mercedes at the body shop. So that was the first car that I ever painted, which actually came out really good.
What color?
Laguna Seca blue.
So is this the car that
This is the car that Tony had,
Tony had? Okay.
which Tony was like the third person afterwards because I sold it to Billy from the powder coating. So
Look, he's like, damn.
yeah, it went around.
Car just got around, bro.
It was a rolling shell. The only thing that needed to be put back in was the interior was all in. Majority of the wiring was done. The only thing that really needed to be done was put a motor in it, put seats in it, and it was a running car. But paint was great. I sold it. And
Why'd you
then
sell it?
I
You
just didn't
got
want to
bored of
finish
it.
it. And you know why I sold it? Because I got my first S2000.
Ah.
So I wanted to put money into that.
The white one.
Yes,
Gateway drug.
How many S2000s you got? You had two?
two. I only had two.
So the white one and then the silver
And the
one.
silver one. So I sold the EG. 2 years later, the person that I sold to still had it, put the motor in, put seats in it, didn't want it anymore, so he sold it back to me, which I got it for cheaper than what I sold him the shell for, with the motor and seats.
So Billy sold
And
it
the
back.
free- the free labor.
No, it's the person locally that I sold it to,
Oh, okay.
because he wanted the EG and he wanted my car. So he put it together, had it running, and I bought it back. Then I ripped it apart because I I redid some stuff on it. But that was like my first like fully shaved bay. Everything was tucked, but the car was stanced. So it was on CCWs.
That's what you were into.
That at the time, that was the big thing then, right? Stance cars.
Now, what year do you think that was?
What was that? 06, 07?
Okay, yeah.
07, 08?
That's even early
Actually,
stance. That's like before stance was like.
I was gonna say stance was like more like 2009. I was gonna say 9 to 12, right around there.
I mean, you're still hanging around now. So.
Not as much.
So yeah, I built it as a stance car for maybe one season. I drove it and I said, "This is terrible." Just the way that it rode and drove, I was like, "This is terrible." So it flipped back to a track setup. So that's when I did the 5-low conversion. I did TEs on it, redid all the suspension, and then did all JDM stuff. So spoon carbon lip, first molding hood, spoon duckbill.
Everything to make it clean, simple.
So that car was literally like, if you look at a Cali car, like
What they're doing now.
That's
it was
exactly-
gutted. It was gutted. It was painted on the inside.
That's
Yeah,
what I was about to ask. Did it have the rear seats or did you pull
It
them
had
out?
no rear seats. It had a full cage in it with the Miracle X bar. With plastics though. I had the plastics in the back, but no carpet. Everything was painted. So
that's a challenge, right? Like seeing something like that and being like, I already did that. You know what I mean? Like that's a challenge to not say something because you just it gets ridiculous at some point where like you're gonna talk about stuff that you did, and there are people that are doing something that you did 20 years ago.
if you put it that way,
Yeah,
it's a long,
fucking long ass time, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a testament to like what your eye looks for, like what you as a builder are looking for. Like,
Yeah.
Are you fucking 5 years ahead of people right now? Or are you 10, right? You know, are you 20? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
telling that story and seeing your car and how much of an effect it is having on the show scene right now, like, where are you? Where do you stand, right? How far ahead are you?
It's so crazy because I'm actually learning new stuff about Marvin. I'm just like, oh, so this is, now when I see this, I'm like, this is where it
Makes
came,
more sense.
makes more sense, right? This is what, because he's had this long history of building mini builds that accumulated to this masterpiece.
I
right?
bet you it's not the mini builds, it's the mini mistakes. The
Well,
small
same
mistakes that
thing.
he made
Right.
building the other stuff where he, like, I'm not going to do that again. I'm gonna-
Right.
So the one thing that I learned from building the EG, because when I fully shaved the bay, but like stuff started cracking just from driving, vibration, bumps, stuff like that. And I told myself that I would never shave another bay again, which I didn't on this one. S2000, if you look at the bay, it looks, I have all the factory holes there,
Right.
but it's just painted.
So you know what I like? I like that look, that like it's not shaved, it's a minimalistic look. Like you took what the factory did and you accentuated it. Like you didn't make it, you didn't say, hey, you know, shaving a bay is like, I'm gonna fix all the mistakes the factory did. Whereas you're like, I'll leave all the things the factory did because they're all important.
I remember when he was doing it, he was like, no, I specifically want to leave this here. I don't want to fill it. I don't want to bond it. I don't want to do any of that. Like I want the holes there. I was like, what? You know, and then once you put everything together, I'm like,
Well, you see, you know, we have other friends that have shaved bays and we see some of the imperfections. And then they're fine to fix it, but they're not because at the same time, it is a tremendous amount of work. It's different than, you know, a fender fucking getting fucked up. You know, you're talking about engine out
Yeah.
and you gotta paint the whole thing all over.
Yeah, and it's not something I wanted to do.
anyways, let's talk about this. All right, so we talked about the EG. We got into the white S2000. Did we talk about getting into that yet or no?
The white S2000?
Yes.
Yeah, we just entered, he just got
We
this.
entered into the S2000.
All right, so let's.
Well, actually, before the S2000, I was still a stance guy, going from EG was track build, which I enjoyed for a little bit, and I sold it to Billy. I also had an FA5, so like Mike's Civic sedan, SI.
Okay.
That was stanced. And that's when I realized that this is absolutely horrible, because
it's horrible.
that car was on the ground, again on CCWs, and it was probably the worst riding car I ever owned, minus my Miata. My Miata was terrible too.
Miatas are terrible cars.
Yeah, I had two Miatas.
You had two? You
I
made the
had
mistake twice?
I had two
This is
NA
not work-
Miatas.
working at a gas
Me and Gary were
station.
talking about that yesterday.
Miata is probably the worst car.
No, it was fun.
It's not S2000 fun.
No, it's not S2000 fun, but it's still fun because it's the right amount of power to throw it around turns without having to really worry about it, I feel like.
That's because it's a fucking throwaway car. It's trash. I can't stand the Miata.
But the SI made me go a completely different route as far as completely like full stance. The S was stance, but it was drivable, right? It was comfortable. The SI was just, I was smashing the cross member on the tow hooks on the front and the bottom off the concrete ground,
Yeah, it's bad.
because that's how low it was, and it was terrible.
Right.
But the
Just to be clear, you chose to have a shitty ride.
I chose, yeah, because I had like 16K springs in there, and they were,
Yeah.
and I was on the ground. Like my driveway to get, like when I was living in my condo, the garage to the driveway was flat, and I still needed boards to get out. It was bad.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the S2000, the white one I had it was a lease. I actually leased that car to start.
I remember the story.
I leased that car to start. I didn't really do much to it in the beginning because it was a lease. And then I just said, fuck it.
You had to put a few
I-
engines in that.
Yes, I did. I went through 3 short blocks.
That's crazy.
I spun 3 bearings in that car,
Crazy.
which I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that, but
It's just it's one of those things where like that particular car wasn't your car. Like it's like somewhere somebody's enjoying it.
I wanted to keep it.
You know.
I was gonna buy it out, and that was gonna be the car that I was gonna build. Because the vision that I have here is the vision I had when I had that white one. It just didn't work out.
It wasn't time.
No,
Did the white one have the Asian interior?
it had the red and black.
Asian interior.
Yeah, the Asian package.
Asian
white,
package.
White with red interior. That's what we call it.
But those white cars are like, they're gold. Those cars. People love that.
Yeah.
Was it GPW?
GPW.
Yeah.
That one was an 08.
I just remember seeing a bunch of S2000s. There was a point in time where I think I was in a Lexus at that point, but I just remember seeing a bunch of S2000s white with CCWs, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this?"
You hate CCW.
Yeah, I think, you know what I think? Well, yes, I
hate
hate
them, right.
I absolutely hate CCWs because it's a full polish wheel and it's hard to keep that shit clean.
I keep mine clean.
Mine weren't polished.
All the ones I saw were polished, and I'm just like, and it was just so intricate. The spoking, it was
Well, yeah,
so
I
intricate.
had LM20s, which was a mesh wheel.
Right.
And I was just like, yo, after having GSXXs, C2s, I was like, man, fuck these web wheels, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but I'm a C2 guy. I've had C2s and all that. shit
I mean,
for
I'm a
long time.
C2 guy. And now that I know how to take care of wheels, or I would put that on a car that I wouldn't drive every day, then, yes, I appreciate the C2 even more. But I mean, the Race Hour C2 is my favorite wheel of all time. But,
That's why we get along.
just web wheels, and I think the GSXX or VSXX is the most of a web wheel should be. But then when I started looking at them CCWs, I'm like, dude, this is like freaking spider webs.
Yeah, they're tight.
I was
tight.
like,
They're
dude,
tight.
Mine
hell
were.
no.
I had CCW send me the faces first, and I had them powder coated like a Project Mu teal with silver flake in it, and then I sent it back to them. They put the wheel
Assembled
together
the wheel.
and then sent them to me. So it was gold hardware, and then the teal face with the polished lid.
We should definitely put a picture of them if you have them up here.
I do.
In my head, that's fucking hideous, but we'll have to see.
But to me, like, you know how much I hate these Mugen Type R's everywhere. And I just felt like that was
your hate for them is starting to fester inside of
But
it. I fucking
you
hate
get
them.
it.
Yeah,
It's not the car. It's not the belt. It's that when you go to a show and there's so many of them in the same color, it's just like, what's this one got that this one don't got? Like I'm looking at the same thing, man. You know, but that's the same thing I felt when I was going to shows back then. I was like, man, how many of these S2000 got these CCW wheels, man? Look like all of them got them, and I'm just like, bro, next. You know, like
That was a big popular wheel for the S2000.
you remember that time, right?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
probably why you got them.
I still have them. Well, there's a certain look that I think that car as a street car, this guy, as a street car, it should look. And I think the CCW, not slams, just clean with like regular bodies, not wide body.
You know what? Maybe it's just on the S2000 I'm a hater because that wheel on a Euro car or BMW, I won't say shit. Like I think it looks fine.
There's three cars that CCWs belong on. Supra, RX-7, S2000, in my opinion. You don't agree?
No, I agree. Or Vets.
That's, C5 specifically.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so I had CCWs on the EG, but I had LM5s, the 5-spoke ones,
That's not my favorite.
and they were 2-piece,
Just the welded.
the welded
yeah.
face, and then I had LM5s on the SI. Those were 3-piece.
I like the LM5 for the SI. I mean, it's a big wheel, big car. As far as a S2000 or as a Civic's concerned, it's kind of big. You know what I mean? And then the wheels.
Well, they were 17s though,
right.
so they look they look small.
I don't think you like 18. I don't think you like.
I only
18.
had one set of 18s, which was my LM20s on my S2000.
Right. LM. Oh, okay. You had another. Oh, those same wheels.
Those same wheels. Those were 18s.
Right. So, fast forward to, you turn that S2000 in, and now you're moving on to what? Another S2000, or what car did you have in between?
What did I have in between? I don't even know. I think there was a phase that I didn't have anything.
Impossible.
No, really. Like I wasn't really doing anything. I think I was just S2000. Oh, the SI came after the S2000.
Okay.
Yeah, SI came after the S2000, and then that's why. Yeah, so that's why I had it mixed up because my S2000 was still stanced, and then I was still in the stance phase when I got into my SI, and then that's where I hated it. So then that's when I went functional. But what I don't remember what I had.
Right. But again, we're still seeing that. We're still seeing that all these different changes that you're making to your cars are a result of some of the other things you've already done. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're not going to drive around in a stance car. You have air cups because you've already dealt with the whole riding too low thing. Your practicality is being built into the new car, right? Into this car. I'm just hearing your story as it goes, right? You would never fucking shave the door handles on that car.
Hell no.
It's just
Never again.
Yeah.
Same thing, like never again with the bay, shaving the bay, never again with shaving stuff off of the car. Because a lot of people were like, why'd you keep the antenna? Why didn't you shave it?
Because you didn't want the little ring.
I didn't want the little ring.
Right.
There's just things that I just didn't want. I like the factory little, the nubby now.
The nub.
Yeah. It's there, I'll just put it back on.
Right. But that's what's awesome about your car is like, it's not that you're doing anything different. It's just that you're doing things different. Get what I'm saying? Like most people are gonna fully shave the bay. Like, you know, we saw the white S2K yesterday.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you saw all the problems with it, right? You're not going down that road. You know, got a lot of stuff ooh, I didn't mean to say his name.
Ooh.
You gotta take that out. I didn't mean to say his name. And I didn't mean it in a negative way. I love but it's got a lot of problems, right? Like a lot of problems where like you're not even worried about that car. Like it could come if it wants, but there's so many problems with certain parts of that car that it doesn't affect you as a competitor, right? Like you already know.
Yeah.
How much of the current version of your car is for you, and how much is it for competition, like percentage wise?
Good question.
That is a good question.
Like for example, right? You know, I hate to compare you to Fam, but And it's not a bad thing, right? Because it's funny because, I always say that, the closest guy that I know that's like you is Jason Pham. And it's funny because his mom bought him a 4-door EK. And guess what? He sold it and got his hatchback, which eventually turned into RHG EK9, right? The attention to detail that both of you guys have, like I've never seen someone have as much attention to detail as Jason have until I met you, right? And then just some of your build characteristics are the same, but his Lexus, his GS, 100% competition. He built that to win.
Just to win.
The S15 is 100% him. He's like, yeah, this is the way I would build a car, and it just happens that it wins, right? So your S2000, how much is what,
It's probably like 80% me,
and 20%.
20% competition. Because I always had a vision in my head of how I wanted my S2000 to be. I'm gonna say the more of the attention to detail stuff and like making sure everything's right is the competition part of me, right? So like you go to shows and you'll notice things that just like it's just easy fixes that people could have did just to put that extra effort in, and I think that's where my part came in. That's where the competition part is. It's just making sure that everything is fit and finished right.
It has
everything matches, everything's tucked away. You don't see anything, right? But I'm kind of OCD too, so that's just any car that I'm gonna build, even if it's a daily driver, that's just how I'm gonna be. It doesn't change for me.
So let's talk about something that I think is kind of important. And you can tell me I'm wrong, and I mentioned this earlier before we got on the thing, is the S2000 pre-rebuild one car club build over a Team Emotion build? Does that make sense? Like,
I don't even know
what I'm saying is
I know the question.
Did the influence of
some of the changing my car, did being on Emotion influence me to change my car the way it is now?
Correct.
No.
Okay.
No. It was gonna get built either way. Mm-hmm. It's just that it so happened to be on the time that I went from SSB to Emotion, in between that period. At some point, like I said, it was always gonna get changed because I don't like silver.
Right.
I just made it work for the time being. Silver.
Right. So the next question I have for you is, coming from that other team, I hate to call that team out, but I'm not calling them out. But I always feel like I have to be clear about, not saying something mean. Coming from SSB onto Team Emotion, what are the differences you see in a team like SSB and a team like Emotion?
That's hard. Because I mean, like, you grow and you become friends with, everyone, right? Mm-hmm. You get close to whoever you're going to car shows with and stuff like that. So, like, SSB is, I'm still cool with everyone.
Of course.
I don't have problems with anyone.
You're just one of those likable guys. You know what I mean? Because
I still love them.
Yeah.
But they're younger than me. Mm-hmm. There's probably maybe like a couple of guys that are probably around the same age as me or a little bit older. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, like, they're younger than me. This side, everyone is around the same age. We all have families. So it's different vibes, I would say, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say I probably get along with this side a lot more. I have more things in common than the other team. Minus, like, yeah, we all hung out, we all did things together, but it was sometimes I felt kind of outcasted. You know what I mean?
Because you were older.
I was older.
Yeah,
right?
kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be the same way on this side, right? Because Willis and Richie are our youngest, right? They're in their late 20s, right? And you know, they're very quiet, you know. But once you get to know them, they open up a little bit, right? But like the same thing, right? Because we're 20 years. Some of us are 20 years older than them, right? So,
Some of us older
like
than
I was
that.
talking to Willis, and he was like, "Yo, my dad had a Acura Legend, and you know he was modding it." And I'm like, I was like, "How old are you?"
Right.
You know what I mean? He's like, "I'm 28." Like, wow, you know, like, so I get that. I get that. But you know, again, Emotion was built as a competition team. Like, you know what I mean? We're not like they're car clubs, but we are like, if there was a professional like car competing league, we would be in it. Right? That's what we're built for. You know what I mean? I think we started off as 5 guys. You know what? Like every crew starts off as 4 or 5 guys, right? Friends that, hey, we're gonna go do this together. And as we evolve, I think we started winning, and then at that point it was like, all right, we change our trajectory and say, this is what we're gonna continue to do.
So if you were going to build a team, Marvin, if you're going to build a team, God forbid, you know, every member of Emotion went on a fucking plane trip and the plane crashed and everyone died. Fireball.
Yo, what?
It's never gonna happen, anyways.
Yo,
How would you import guys into your new team, like your team that you're gonna build? What would be the onboarding process for guys like that? Just seeing what your build is like, and seeing the type of people you've been around for the last few years. I mean, is that going to influence the way you onboard people to this new super team?
100%.
What does that look like?
There'd definitely be criteria that you would have to have, right? As far as how the car is built. So like,
Is that something that you could like verbalize, or is that something that you kind of just have to see the car? And
I would
feel
have
out
to see the
person?
car. It's hard, right? Like you can't.
You can't.
I can see a car
You can't
on
checklist it.
yeah, I can look at a car on Instagram and be like, oh, that looks like an Emotion car, right? But you go up to it and you're like, oh, this is not an Emotion car.
Right.
So
Like I remember back in the day, way back in the day, right? Like to be on a high level team, it was like you need to have wheels, you need to be lowered, you need to have paint job.
That was our
Right,
That was our,
right.
Our thing.
That was your. I think your absolute. You had to have everything that you normally needed, but when you guys added, you have to have a paint job. That's what kicked you guys into the
high level.
high level, right? Because everyone can have everything else,
Yeah,
but
once
if you don't have that
paint,
paint
you're
job,
serious, right?
like you can't be on AE. You know what I mean? So I was just like, "Eesh," right?
You think that that's kind of like us being, because
That's
no
the
one was
standard.
gonna- no
Yo,
one's
that
gonna
was
be-
that was the standard back then, right? For you guys, that was the standard because, you know, to be part of something elite, that's your standard, right? Just like for me now, my standard is just like Marvin said, right? Like I could look at cars or people DM me and like, hey, like what's the qualifications beyond Emotion? And I'll look at it and the first thing I say is, you know, like number one, we made a rule a long time ago that we will never add a car that we don't physically see. And the reason is that if you submitted pictures to me, you know your flaws.
right.
So you're not
just
sending me
hide it,
pictures
you
of
just
those
walk
flaws.
around the slides. Yeah.
Right, you know, and then, you know, there are some cars on Instagram that look great on Instagram, and then when you go see them in real life, they don't look so good, right? And so it's just like, that's when we made that rule, like, hey, we need to see that car, right? And on top of that, obviously, hey, we have a travel schedule, right? Like, you're not just gonna be on the team and not travel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there are other criterias as well, but you know, to be an Emotion car, it's just the completeness of. To me, it's the completeness of the build, the rarity of parts, the flow. Like, it's nothing that I can put on paper and say, hey, it needs to have these 5 things. Check, 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 check. Like when you see it and you look at the car, you could tell, right? And then after that, it's not just the car. You could have the baddest car, but now I
Who's
need
the person?
Now I need
Who's
to
the
know
person?
you, right? Like, let me see your thought process. Let me talk to you. Let's see like where you're at, right? Because to me, it's the team's first, and the individual awards are,
So
the extra.
my thing, I think, that is common with a lot of teams and a lot of teams that last for a long time, either as teams or as friends, is if people are able to check their egos, right? So you put all the Team Emotion guys with Hondas in a room, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk shit and play, but none of that. We're never talking about cars. You ever notice that? I mean, we might talk about like modifications or whatever. It's never like, I'm gonna whoop your ass, or nothing like that. I mean, it might be joking around like that, but you get what I'm saying. It's not.
I mean,
like,
What are you talking
fuck
about?
up.
What did you say? Oh, you can. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know what he said. He said
You can have that
you
class.
can have that class. I'm going for best of show.
I'm going for
and
best
then
of
walked
show.
away.
They walked away. Like,
I didn't mean it as like.
so I don't know. I don't know.
vindictive
Your
thing,
statement,
right?
your
Like-
statement that you just said is absolutely true. Because that was some like, I was like, everyone was like, did he
Right.
just mic drop? He just mic dropped.
He just left.
Just
Like,
left.
I've known you for 45 minutes. What the fuck?
He said you can have the S2000 class. I'm going for best of show.
Well,
Actually, dude, I don't even know how we got here. We didn't even finish talking about the silver S2000.
because we
We segmented, but
segmented, but I mean, the silver
makes sense.
S2000 is this. I mean, we went through all the things.
well, let's ask him, right? Like, hey, between the silver S2000 and this, right? Like, I'll be honest. The first time I saw the silver S2000, I thought it was a emotion build. No, it wasn't there yet, but I saw the writing on the wall, right? And I was always like, to me, I was like, hey, we got to bring these guys in young, or, if they have that build mentality, we bring them in. And from there, each one of us have the responsibility to kind of critique that car and that owner take for what it is, whether he wants to change it or not, right? But I saw that, he had the parts, he had the build mentality. So I was that's the first time I seen his car. The first time I seen his car, obviously he was in the junk lot at Tuner Evo. And he was
The junk lot.
I was in the third hall.
they
parked me in the
he was,
last
yeah,
hall.
he was the best car in the junk lot. You know what I mean? But his car had TEs, so he was running 2 sets of wheels, right? But instead
I heard the story.
of
He did it
left
the wrong
right,
way.
yeah, instead of left, well, it was different, right? So now it's his mindset.
Again, there's different good and different bad. This is the one thing that I never agree with.
But hold on, but instead of going left TEs and right CEs, he went front wheels
TEs.
rear wheels CEs.
Right.
Right? So hey, it was hit or miss.
But
man.
that's a track thing. They always have different wheels on the car.
Yeah, but like my thing is right left because there's 2 different cars. Remember I used to rock
Correct.
right left?
Yeah, because you can't look at both sides of the
same
car
time.
at the same time.
Right. And
I
it was
get it.
awesome when people would look on one side of the car and go, damn, that's nice. And then go, what the fuck? And then walk back over. It's like, oh, he's got 2 sets of wheels.
But instead, we walked out in his car and said, "What the fuck?" But at least they were matte. At least they were matte
matching
blue.
colors. They were matte blue.
Yeah, I give them that.
And the only reason the TEs are up front is because they're easier to clean.
Oh, god damn.
See, there was a thought process behind it, right? So
I get it. Right, left.
But again, the silver car, we approached Marvin and talked about it, and it was like, hey man, like, how many shows did you go to? 2. Like, it was real, like, let me ask you a question, and he just spits out like yes, no. Like, there was no like, I couldn't pull any more and I'm good at doing that, pulling conversation out, but it was just like 2. Like, oh well.
I mean,
you willing to
maybe-
travel? Not really. Like,
You said that.
I did.
You know what I mean? I was like,
I
okay.
did at the time.
What
'Cause
if-
at
what
that
if-
time, I was like, I mean,
What are your future plans? I think I'm gonna get like some more stuff. Like,
Right.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I was like, all right.
Well, I mean, was that the difference between like the minor leagues and the majors, right? Like, were you, you're good at, dude. So we talked about this before. Like, your neighborhood, you're the fucking man, bro. You're the fucking man. Nobody can tell you shit in your neighborhood. But once you go fucking 2 blocks over, 3 blocks over, there's a other guy that's the guy, right? And
I just have a collection of those guys.
yeah. And when you go over that street, right? Like you want to go to the next street. That's you. You want to go to the next street and make sure that you're better than that guy.
I want to go all the way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
want to go,
100%.
you know,
I want all
I
the
think
guys.
he was comfortable where he was at the
Absolutely.
time. It just takes that taste.
Yeah, and
One
you
or
know,
two.
on my side, every event that we went to that you're at, they were like best S2000 Marvin Ma, and I was like, yo, that was the S2000 I was checking out. You know what I mean? And then it wasn't until he went HCAT Supercharger where I was like, I need that motherfucker. I need that motherfucker now, right? Because now it was like, hey, he had 4 wheels of the same wheel on, right? Like the build was starting to get better, starting to get more rare parts, and I was like, yo, now I need this guy. You know what I mean?
Always the parts that I think sets a lot of the emotion cars apart from other builds, because it's gonna be, you're gonna see some stuff that you have never seen before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some unattainium. You on your Lexus, you have an intake that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Project Muse on all 4 corners. Like people are like, yo, what's so special about that Lexus? And it's like, yeah, it may not
have
be
to
like
know.
the showy parts, but it's just like, you know, the ARC intake, you know, I have the ARC arm, but I got a freaking titanium arm built for like $800. Like, what am I gonna do? Leave that in the garage? Like, so, you know, leave that on there. The Blitz pipe stopper no longer available. I have HKS 40th anniversary bolts on. Like,
Yeah, I saw those yesterday. I'm like, damn, I might have to get those.
good luck.
Dude, what have I not found? What have I not found?
Don't even get me started, bro, because, you know, I had to help you find some of these parts too.
One part ever. One part.
But you know, the Project Muse lug nuts, like all that stuff, right? You know, like it all kind of comes together. It's just rarity parts.
And that's just one car.
That's just one car.
That's just one car.
Yeah, I mean, you look at let's like Viet's IQ, full wheel side, right? Like full wheel side. Like you're never gonna see one of those ever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know, again, you know, to get on emotion, there's no 5-item checklist, right? Like when we see it, right?
And I think the biggest thing is guys, a lot of guys that get excited about, you know, being around a group of guys that we have, they kind of don't know how to act.
Yeah, and then
Does that make sense?
And then they get comfortable, and then it's like we're putting on a show,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know, we won't mention any names out, but you know,
I wasn't talking about him. I was just saying there's some guys that get like antsy. I didn't.
well,
mean
no,
him.
it's cool. It's cool to hear too, right? Because it's like, you know, I always think as emotion as professional, right? And it's like, you know, these guys are like, oh man, like I remember building I remember going to shows and seeing you guys, and it's always been like a dream of mine to like be included, you know. And it's like, hey, welcome aboard, you know what I mean? Like, welcome, you know what I mean?
Meanwhile, we're like flinging boogers at each other, like not that, but you know, we just something so like
we don't take it so serious,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
But you know what I mean? And it's like, hey, like, you know, like we want to like kind of include you, right? Because you have that build mentality, like come be with like-minded people,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it's gonna help you. Like, I can only help you, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
we spend tons of money on our builds, right? So it's like, hey, do the travel schedule for me, right? Just rock these stickers, you know what I mean? Promote me or promote the team. Win individually, have a good attitude, and hey, you know, like the money that you spend on your parts, I'm gonna kind of give you back some in discounts on other parts, right? Like,
right on the competition side with your throwing to show. The other thing is like, I don't feel like there's anybody that's the smartest guy in the room there. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think everyone's equal. Like,
equal.
They're equal in their own thing, right? Because like you know, like Viet was the king of scions, right? Like
The king.
like he's the king, right? We got the S2000 king, daddy.
He's everybody's daddy, bitch.
Like,
He's everyone's daddy, including yours,
like,
bitch.
I mean, you could say we got the king and the prince in the RSX category, right? And Kit and Jonathan. Obviously in the Lexus, Lexus category, we have Martin is his probably closest competitor, and I think Martin, I think he's actually beaten him. Actually, to be honest with you, I think Martin beat him once and then
Rolled out.
right? So
I think Martin's coming back.
yeah, well, I believe so. I mean, his car's every time he's redone it, it's only gotten better. But I think everyone is like the guy in their neighborhood, which is also the guy in their class. Does that kind of make sense, right? So it's all like we all bring a piece of the puzzle together, right?
Why couldn't you build like a different car, bro? Like, what the fuck?
Well, so as an outsider looking on both of your cars, right? I think Marvin's car would still do what it does, but I think your car benefits from Marvin's car because Marvin built his car this way, and you have the same effect, but this way. So you see two sides of the spectrum.
Yeah,
I think
I think my car is like a straight up science project.
Right. If Marvin's car never got done and your car came out, I don't think people would get it. Or there'd be more explaining to do on your car. Whereas now that we have both the cars 10 feet from each other, it's like,
You think?
I think, yes. Your car is because remember when you first brought it out, it was like a point, like, hey, when you come judge this car, like, we
Gotta get the
need
guy,
to talk
yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
right? Because you're not gonna understand what's in this car. You're gonna look at it and not get it, right? Now they get it. Now we're starting to introduce that kind of fab into our community,
Right.
right? So that's what I mean by that, right? It's like, hey, Marvin's car is
Traditional. It's not traditional.
Yeah.
It's traditional in a fashion of like, it's like an analog artist where the guys, brush strokes are intentional, and mine are keystrokes, right? Like there's a difference.
There is a big difference, right? And so I think, both, right? So,
Well, I'm happy to have Marvin. I think that he's doing things with that car that we've only seen a few guys do, and don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like that is almost what LJ did with his Civic.
right, we'll know 10 years from now,
Yeah,
right?
We will.
Whether Marvin's car is that game changer, right? Like, it's done a lot in 1 year, absolutely, and it's done a lot in 1 year. But just to compare it to LJ, like LJ's car is a game changer, right? I feel like this car, yes, has that
But
potential.
the way I think you tell is the best way. The best compliment is flattery, right? And that's when someone goes, you know what? I'm gonna do what I saw Marvin do, right? And or take what he did and make it in their own version of that thing, right? And that's
gonna be hard.
it's hard, but that's a
hard.
huge compliment to that's tipping the hat to a guy that is creative and putting and I'm sure he's got tricks up his sleeve. And again, 10 years from now, if somebody someplace goes, I'm building a car because I saw this car, kind of like what we talk about with Killing Time and the Bergenholtz car, and Ryan Parma, which I finally found his thing, the guy with the DA with the roll cage or whatever like that. That type of influence for a guy can last a lifetime. Right? Like, will you ever forget the Bergenholtz car?
No. Well, I mean, in this industry, no, right? Like that's where a lot of things got derived from. So
Right. So this car could have the same influence on a lot of people. I feel like it's good enough that it could. And that's the last time I'm gonna give compliment to this motherfucker.
What else did I want to ask that's on here, man? So, anything else that you want to say about this build that everyone's been seeing?
No,
No.
not really.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. I mean, you'll see some changes next year, but nothing crazy. Not to the extreme of that of how it is.
I mean, we talked about growth, right? And I did notice, like, again, when I saw your car when it's silver with just the intake on it, you were very just like, yes, no, 2, 3, I don't know. But, you see your growth because, as we've traveled this year, all the people that are coming up to you asking about the car and stuff, you're more like,
yeah, more open about it.
More
right?
open about it.
More
You're
open about talking.
Yeah, you're more open about talking. So, I mean, that's cool, man. Like, my whole thing is, man, like, I only want to, share with the community, everything that we do, right? I think, again, with your build being as high profile as it was or as it is, it has to go everywhere. So, thank you for doing 10 shows, which I know you were like, oh my God.
From the guy that wanted to do 2.
From the guy that originally just wanted to do two in his hometown in the same building. Oh, no, sorry.
No.
It was Tuner Evo. It was Tuner
Evo Philly,
actually,
and then
let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, right? So, I know I talked on an episode that you already knew the color because we'd seen it, Kobe and I had seen it on Gran Turismo, right? We talked about some of your goals that you wanted to hit, and I know that Week Fest was like, you had put it out there, and you're like, but I'd be happy like with blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
But Week Fest was like the one that you're like kind of iffy.
Week Fest was the one I was chasing.
Yeah,
right?
it was the one that you were chasing. And you were like, you were confident that you were gonna hit every other goal on that list except for Week Fest, right? So, tell me what it was like when you won that award. Not many people get to win that award. You know what I mean? So, to win that award at currently the last Week Fest on the East Coast, what was it like to win that?
That was definitely an awesome feeling. But so Jeremy, my son, he was with me too at that show, and it was cool to share it with him.
Right.
Something because he's always excited. Like, he's not into cars. I don't think he's gonna be. But he likes to win.
Who doesn't?
So he likes to go up and grab the trophy.
Okay.
So, he always gets excited when we go and I win, and I pull him up with me.
Kobe's the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and the reason why I tell Kobe, that's the reason why Kobe's into cars. It's kind of a little bit different, but the reason why I bring him up is because I know that growing up, one of the things I was scared of was stage fright, to do a speech or to do anything in front of a crowd. So I'm like, bro, like,
get up there.
Get up there.
That's
like,
me.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do not like
you're
talking
up there
in
and you do all this stuff so that you already conquered that fear, right? So when I tell him, like, when he has to do a presentation, I'm like, oh, Dad, I'm like, what's that any different than when you go
grab a car show trophy, right?
And everyone's looking at you.
Or when you're dancing up on stage.
Yeah, he at one show he did Baby Shark, lip sync in front of everyone. He had the whole crowd rocking.
Was that Lee Tuner?
Yeah, it was Lee Tuner, right? So.
That's a show I missed.
You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, you have the power to control all the people in front of you. Like, that's what.
The earlier you learn it, the better.
That's the last thing you should be afraid of. And I always tell them, like, yo, you put your dad up there, they gotta pull him off like with the cane, you know. And he was like, oh yeah, you talk a lot, Dad. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But sorry to interrupt. But
no.
You were talking about Jeremy getting the award.
I mean, Week Fest has always been the goal. I don't know what it is though. I don't know if it's just like.
Tell me if it's the same thing. So, at Week Fest, it's the same thing, right? So, like, I know I won Lexus in 1 year. I won Best Lexus. Maybe Lexus IS. I don't know, but I won it, and I was like, oh yes, I got this prestigious award, right? And then, but to me, it's never a win until you back it up, right? Just like drag racing, right? You don't get it until you back it up.
You don't get the record.
Yeah.
You still get the win. You don't get the record.
Yeah. So I always wanted to back it up, and I was never able to in the Lexus. Little did I know that I had the other car that could have just went and just won, right? So 2 years ago, I won 90s Car of the Festival with OG1, and then I won it again this year with OG1. So I'm good, right? But I think it's the, not gratification, but the recognition that your build is good enough to a Cali judge.
Yeah, I think so.
That's me with OG1, right? And that was the reason the first year I brought it out, I was like, no, because of what I previously had to go through with that car when everyone was making fun of it and stuff. And I was like, man, like, I'm not trying to bring it to Week Fest and everyone like fucking clown on it. Like, I'm not trying to have the Cali judge clown on my fucking car.
But it's funny because they grew up in that same time frame.
Right. And so it was you and Tim from SSB that was like, you're crazy. You got to bring that car. You know what I mean? And that's when I was like, I called on, was like, oh, change the plans. We're bringing the car.
Well, the thing about that is like, I wasn't there, so I can't speak on that. But I just think that, and I've told you this before, you can't, now you're good. Like, you never have to worry about that again, because it's like bringing out a 57 Chevy, right? Like, with flames on it or whatever, like hot rod shit, right? Those guys at some point were hating on that kind of thing. Now it's just history, right? Like, you can't shelve history. And
well, to me, I didn't think OG1 was like history. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's my baby, right? So it's just like, but after bringing it out the last 2 years, I realized what that car means to other people. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, and I'm tempted to finish my car just to see if I can kind of feel some of that feeling back.
It's the craziest feeling, man. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, like I've been saying, that the hidden thing behind all of it was bringing Kobe into the mix. You know what I mean? Like, every time
you're sharing that.
Yeah, because I had the car before he was ever born. I was doing all this stuff before all that, before family, before marriage, you know, and you know, that car was always the car that was in the garage that Kobe was like, that's that thing collecting dust, right? And then we bring it out and he's like, or as he got into cars, he would ask me like, like, what is it like? What was it like to win? And da 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 da. I'm like, I'm still winning. What you talking about? I'm just winning with the homies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's like, no, what was it like to win with that car?
Now he's seeing it.
Because those trophies are in my garage, right? So, so now it's like every time I register a car, I put under his name. Same thing.
Yeah. And that was like the little inside joke with Kobe this whole year, was that he was my little good luck charm.
Because he was at
every show event that I won Best of Show at.
Let me ask you this though, right? So you win that. So you win the award, or you accomplish the goal that was the highest point, right? Like, maybe I'll get it, but I'll be satisfied if I do everything else but that. Tell me about the build-up, right? Like, you go to Autotopia, you go to Virginia Beach, you're like, you know what I mean? Like, you're inching your way, knowing that the date is coming, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like you're going through a tournament and you're going through the rounds, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, I got past the first round, I got past the second round, right? And now you're in the finals, right? So,
but it's not like, I mean, and nothing against Tuner Evo either, because I was still pushing to be Best of Show at Tuner Evo too. That's still a award that I was chasing too, because Tuner Evo and Weekfest were the only two shows that I went to when the car was silver, and I've always placed S2000, Best S2000. So chasing those two were something that was a goal of mine after finishing the car. But Weekfest was always like, I don't know, it was always the goal.
It's just
part of the
but
festival.
did it feel like the weight was lifted off your shoulders when they called your name?
Yes. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It was like an accomplishment, right? Like, I checked that.
It was not just accomplishment, but a bucket list. There's accomplishments and there's bucket lists, right? Like, let me ask you this: during the award ceremony, When did you know that you had it? Like it was yours?
He didn't call his name. Anything else? When you don't get your name called, you know it's
You don't, but
Nah,
You
you,
don't-
might
you-
not
you
though.
don't.
No.
of one of those 10 shows when you were there.
it's different. It's not Week Fest. Actually, North Carolina. Remember they called you for?
Oh yeah, North Carolina. They called me for S2000
Right.
first, and I was
Right.
like, oh, okay. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then they called me again for Bay,
Engine.
and then they called me again for
Best of Show.
Show.
Yeah, but
Well, I didn't know you could stack at that award.
Right, because
at-
no
at
one,
that
you know,
show.
Stacking.
no one's stacking, right? So
Yeah.
then it's like, oh damn, I might have lost, right? But I mean, going back to Week Fest, like when did you know? Like when did you have a feeling after they called Ada?
After they called me.
After he called Ada, it was like
After they called him, but there was also still
Coop,
of the festival or Judge's Choice.
right?
Oh, so you don't know which one.
No, so
But
Or runner up, or run.
they don't
I,
stack
I don't
there.
think they had.
They didn't
runner-up
have
this year.
runner up this year.
They
right?
don't stack there.
They do not.
They don't stack. So there's no way.
there's-
you
Right,
won
they
that.
didn't
Yeah.
stack, but
But they didn't
those are the
stack.
other categories that
Yeah.
he would have been eligible for after S2000.
So I could have got Judge's Choice.
You could have got you could have got Honda, Judge's Choice,
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
Coop.
or Coop, and then at other events there was runner up.
So let me ask you this. Now that you've done all this stuff, and this is more of a car show question than it is a Marvin question. When we talk about car shows, and for me, you got guys that are like Harry and myself that are, you know, like I did with the Ayahuasca chase points, like what he did with what is it, NCAA?
NCCA.
NCCA. Do you feel like we should go back to a point system and have multiple winners for a category? Like, I feel like these car shows are going to kill themselves because nobody knows who the second place guy is. Nobody knows where they stand if they don't win. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. If you win Best of Show, you know that you could probably win your category, right? But if you win your category, you don't know how far you are behind as the second place guy. You don't know who the second place guy is.
And
or the third place guy.
it's funny that you asked
important.
that because so shout out to Brad. He I think he's been with me at every show this year, helping me with loading and unloading the trailer, getting stuff ready. He's been a trooper. I think there's one show he didn't go to, which was Harrisburg, but he helped me load the car before Harrisburg, and then when I came home, he met me at the house to help me unload the car, which is cool. Who's gonna, not a lot of people will do that for you. But we were having this discussion as far as like, he's like, you should go talk to the judges. It's like if you lose, or you don't, or you get second place or whatever, ask them, ask the judges like, what is it that I lost in or whatever,
Right.
and what do I need to focus
Improve,
on
right.
to go to the next
level.
So point system.
When I say point
I don't
system, I just say that like, what's the encouragement?
I don't know if-
for someone to go to the next show.
I don't know if about point system because like you could have two cars side by side and all have the same points, right? Like as far
No.
as
I mean point system by
Points chase.
points chase.
oh, points chase. Is that what we were talking about with like?
If you win a Best of Show, you get like 10 points, and then at the end of the year, whoever has
You go against like whoever.
Well, no. There's like a
Or you take it all.
competition inside of the competition.
Okay.
Right? Where you win 10 Best of Shows, now you got 100 points. Whereas everybody else, we only won your class, we only get 6 points or whatever the fuck it is. Whatever they decide.
5
it to
points,
be,
yeah.
5 points, right?
I don't know.
I think that's another level of, so because I already went through it, like I know what it feels like, but I think for him, now that he's more competitive, I think that would be like something he would chase. That's just me answering
I mean,
for him.
if it came about, then yeah, probably. Because I mean, I
Why not,
chased
right?
I chased Best of Show.
Right.
Right. So
So, I mean, you're going to try to chase all the best of shows and beat everybody who's ever had a best of show that season. I just the reason I asked that question is because I feel like guys that are on your level, you're gonna go either way, right? Because you're gonna win. You feel like you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Whereas before you were comfortable going to 2 shows because you already knew you're gonna win what you're gonna win, right? You
Not all the time though. So like when I went to Week Fest when my car was silver, I didn't plan to win back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it was just always like because you don't know what shows up every year.
Right.
Right?
You never know.
But that's the same thing. Like I feel every time we go to a different show, is that like I'm not anticipating that I'm gonna definitely win best of show. That's just how I look at it. It's my car. I know my car. I don't look at it the same way that other people look at my car because it's just how it is.
You see it every day. You're kind of used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to the car, right? So like I know, yes, I built an awesome car. I enjoy it, but I don't go to a show thinking that I'm gonna definitely take home best of show.
Well, if you did, you'd have air jacks on it. But
This guy, the air jacks. I don't need no air jacks. I mean, it would be nice to have air jacks in the garage right now because I would have just jacked it up and took my wheels off.
Quick jacks. You got quick jacks?
I don't because I had them. I borrowed them. I never used them, and I gave them back to the guy that owned them. I just use 2 jacks. It's easier.
Pain in the
I'm
butt.
old-fashioned,
Yeah.
and that's how I worked on the car through the whole build.
Well, on the floor.
On the floor.
let me ask you a couple more questions, right? So, after building the S2000, the silver S2000, basically all on your own, right? Like, and then on the green car, right? You did gather some sponsors for this build. Is the sponsors' help really helpful?
Yeah.
In your opinion,
Yeah.
and how?
I mean, pocket-wise,
Pocket-wise, you can
dollar amount, I can reallocate that money
Reallocate.
towards something else that I need to finish.
Because not all of it is free. Let's just put
No.
that out there. Not all of
No.
it is free.
No,
but
you're
the
still
discount
paying.
is-
You're still paying a percentage of it, but the discount's heavier. But not all brands are going to give you the same discount that one brand gives you, right?
But the other important part is like the monetary thing is one side, but there's another side to the sponsorship, and that's you doing your job.
Usually, when I offer sponsorships to the guys on the team, they don't understand. I think they kind of understand, but I already signed those contracts for them, right? And it's just because, like for example, Falcon, I've been dealing with them for over 10 years, right? So they have we on both sides have the understanding they're going to supply the tires, and I'm going to do my part to make sure all the ducks are in a row. So instead of having hey, this is the requirements, blah 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 blah. I take care of it. You pay the bill, and rock the sticker, and then we'll take care of the rest, right? Like, different companies have different contracts. Like your Vibrant contract. When I read it, I was like, holy crap! You know what I mean? It was like you have a sticker, you need to have this. They include social media. Like you need to have this many videos, you have this many posts, and I was like,
They worked it out
crap.
because there's a cost to the parts they're giving you, right? And they want to make sure that they get their return. That's part of business. And I've been sponsored many a times, and the one thing that I've learned about sponsorship is, especially when you're dealing with people in the marketing people, they go from company to company.
Yep.
And they're either going to be willing to reach out to you for more product or give you more product, or they're not. So it's really important,
that you uphold your end. Exactly, right? And that's why I'm always like, damn, man, like I can't, like I risk, right? Like, yeah, I built my 2 cars, right? But it's like as I bring these other guys on, it's like,
you don't have control.
yeah,
You
I
just
don't have
to trust.
control, right? You just have trust. And then at the end of the day, they can just, right? And then it's like, bro, right? But not only that, but then, let me ask you this. So like, you have the right to not sign the contract and be like, yeah, I'm good, right? Because, for example, from where we stand at, I mean, we know people that can get some of these parts just using a wholesale account, right? Or if you work closely with a shop, they'll give you like, oh, we'll give you ad costs, right? So then at that point, does that ever come into the decision, yeah, I'm going to sign this or not?
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation, right? So for me, like Vibrant, I was at that part of the build. And that was probably like
they got back too fast.
a lot of the most costly part of the build.
Yep. That stuff wasn't cheap.
No.
And even what you spent with the sponsorship still wasn't cheap.
No. But I mean, like, if you're paying retail, it was a lot.
And
I never realized that, like, as far as like a roll of AN line, being how much money it was. I don't even remember how much it was. If I dig through my email, I'm sure I'll see it. But because they included the MSRP and then what I got it for, and I was like,
they need their return. They need their return.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, you know. And then a lot of people hate on people that get sponsors that help build a car, right? But like,
you don't build a car with a sponsor unless you built a car.
Like yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like, they don't, like they think that they thinking that we got sponsored by like Spoon or like Nguyen. Like, no, I had to dish out the $8,000 for that hood in order to get my Falcon spot. Right. You know what I mean? Which I'm still paying.
Right.
Just not full price. You know what I mean? I'm still paying for the tires, just not full price.
The sponsorship story always.
We should do an episode on this one. Actually, this could be. Man, this is already part of it, right? Like,
but you just think about how much money you spend on your car and how much of that money you're gonna save with a sponsorship, and it's not some tremendous amount.
But
I mean, it is, but it's not.
But you're not even saving because you're just reallocating the money that you haven't spent yet
So something
into
else.
something. So, for example, let's just say the money that Marvin spent or saved on his Vibrant stuff, he just reallocated that money into
my rear brake kit or something.
the real brake kit or the RGs or his car stereo. You know whatever it is, right? So it's just. You're not saving money. You're just reallocating the money. That's all you're doing.
So all right. So let's wrap this up. I have a question, and I'll let Harry ask you a final question. And I kind of know the answer to this because I was supposed to do your audio, but in doing audio at the end, is it different now than it was when you were younger when you did audio and what you wanted? It's not as easy, right? Like, as a lot of guys.
No, that was hard. And like, lucky enough, huge shout out to my brother-in-law that he was good with woodworking, that he was able to help me, you know, do that trunk setup and figure it out and build some kind of enclosure and to make it look presentable, right? It's very simple. Right? You pop my trunk, it looks like an old school trunk setup.
Right. Yeah.
Two amps, the sub is in the middle, and then that's it. Right? Everything else is just kind of like boxed out.
Paneled out. Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's not easy though.
Right. Well, the reason I wanted to say that is because the reason I wanted to put that is because you have a complete build from soup to nuts, from stereo to exhaust. I was trying to do A to Z, but it didn't work out like that. Wait. But from front to back, right? And I wanted you to kind of do to put out there that you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to get what you wanted. The question wasn't really about audio, it was about you doing the things that you needed to do to get your car to what you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Even though you had the hurdle, which was me, right, to getting it done.
You're the least of my hurdle.
No, I'm saying
least of my
the hurdle of. I meant the hurdle of like you had that figured out. Like Adam was going to do it, but you were like, all right, well, that's a thing that I'm going to figure out my own, and that's what some of these guys have to understand is like each one of these cars that we build as professional builders, there's a part that goes wrong, and then how are you gonna deal with it? And this is my way of giving that example. Right?
You just have to figure it out, right?
Right.
Like it came down to it, and I had to figure it out and make it work.
Right. But that to me is the building cars, the way of building a car to win. Is like you're gonna get what you have.
I mean, it's not my ideal setup in my trunk,
right.
but I may do with what I could.
The function, it does its function.
Yeah, to display what I needed to display, and it works for the time being.
For the time being.
For the time being.
All right, man. Let's close this out with a lightning round, like we do with all of our other special guests. All right. So here we go. Import, domestic.
Import.
Turbo or an A?
I'm going NA.
Really?
Yeah, because he didn't say supercharged. So if he said supercharged, I would say supercharged. But I'm going NA.
Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Starbucks.
McDonald's or Wendy's?
McDonald's.
Nintendo or Sega?
Sega.
When do we add that?
Just added it.
He just added it. I'd say
Video game guy.
I'm going to go Sega.
All right.
Yeah.
And motion or SSB?
I'm pleading the fifth on that.
How you complete the fifth? You fucking got this.
I'm a motion guy, but the SSB guys are still my boys.
Yeah, that's always the joke. I mean, that's always the joke. Right?
Yeah,
Because I, like
put them on the hot spot.
Yeah, you put them on the hot spot. So nothing against SSB guys, man. You know I love you guys, man. But just like when I did Jay, I was like, emotion or WRT or So all love, man. Not trying to start nothing. So, but hey, Marvin, thank you for spending time with us, telling us.
Weekend.
Yeah, whole weekend. It was an action-packed weekend, but. Thank you for doing this part and then sharing your story. I actually learned things I didn't know, but now everything all makes sense, right? So, again, thanks for coming down. And just to kind of timestamp this, we're 2 days after Christmas, so that's yeah. So Marvin coming down right after Christmas.
2 days after Christmas and 4 days before the new year. This is our last show of the year. Of 2025. This won't air
look at
until
that.
2026.
I get to close it out.
That's why I said no more. Actually,
No more green car? No, you're still going to talk about the green car. So at some point, we're still going to talk about the green car.
if you do something crazy to it, we'll bring it up again. But other than that, I'm not going to talk about it.
It's not going to change much.
But again, thank you, and we'll see you guys next year.